Welcome to another episode of the Most Serious Podcast. Today, I have someone with a similar nickname as I have in home, and he has that as his real name. He doesn't have two names, or I don't know if he does yet. So, welcome, Aayu, to the Most Serious Podcast. Thank you so much for being here and just talking, man.
Thank you so much for having me. I used to have Ayu as a nickname, but they liked it so much that they made it my real official name. It's now everywhere.
Ayu, let's start somewhere where you wouldn't usually start if you were to introduce yourself, or if you were to have just a stock societal conversation. So let's start with something which you usually don't tell in your introductions.
Okay. So introduction is mostly about this education experience. I won't tell you all those things. Okay, they are
Okay.
pretty much there. I'll tell you what I really find valuable, which does not directly impress people in an interview, but it's who I am. I take immense pride in it. I take immense pride, really get a lot of joy by just sharing my ideas and getting to know other people's opinions. It's just a mental curiosity to know different perspectives, and the getting platforms like this and others where I can share what I feel. Just connecting with people is a wholesome feeling, is what I really enjoy, and that's what makes me who I am. So even if I am dead tired, it's 2 a.m., just start a stimulating conversation and I can go on till night. So that is who I am. I don't talk about this in any interview, but that's what makes me who I am.
And do you so I have, through this course of hosting this show, and through this course of having better conversations, as I try to have better conversations in life, and I feel like we were talking before just recording this episode that how important it is to actively listen and actively want to listen as well. Mostly I feel that through the course of conversations that we are having in daily life, it's just we're waiting for a turn to reply. So is it, how did you discover this fact? Like, for me, it was just knowing that I'm not listening to the other person, I'm just waiting for my turn to respond. That was a big insight for me. Like, okay, I am not receiving anything yet, I'm just giving. So when did you realize that communication is a two-way street? You also should be open enough to receive, you should always be open enough to kind of listen to what the other person has to say.
Certainly. So it only boils down to a simple fact: the time you realize that the person in front of you or the group of people in front of you have lot of insights to share that can benefit you.
Hmm.
You value their knowledge, their experience. The moment you genuinely value and respect them, it comes automatically. You don't have to be like, okay, I have to listen. Okay, they might be talking about something that's random. You have to attend, okay, maybe something golden will come out of it, and then you automatically just get into listening mode, because now your
Hmm.
brain knows this guy knows something. The moment you like, okay, this guy is too young or from a different background or this and that, you judge the person beforehand before you even listen to that person. That's when you stop listening. And that's one thing that changed. I found so many people who were far younger to me, who were, let's say, from unorthodox backgrounds. While I was traveling across the country in a train, I met people who you would not conventionally think, okay, this is an inspirational person. They were older women doing a small, medium sized business. But I learned more from those women than from a business course.
Hmm.
Just because I listened, because I thought, yes, this person can teach me something.
Hmm. I think
So
that
that
is
was one big
very,
thing.
yeah, that's a huge value if someone can take away from this, that before judging that conversation that you're having, or before stereotyping the person that you're about to have that with, that certainly blocks a lot of wisdom coming your way, or a lot of anything coming your way, because you've put barriers now of thinking that I'm on a higher ground than the person who is in front of me. I think it also works like, in a different direction as well. Like, once if you start feeling like, when I think there's this graph in which it's like, how do you decide what's the optimal level of flow or focus? So it has to be interesting enough also, but it has to be challenging also to some extent. Because if it's too easy and it's interesting, then you don't tend to listen to it. If it's very hard, then you give up in the beginning already. So I think the fact that you mentioned like brings up this thought in my mind that it has to be stimulating as well, but it also has to be a little bit challenging for you to have that interest. Nahi to, like in classes, we all just doze off. We don't want to listen to what the teachers have to say.
I'm guilty of that. I've slept through so many classes. So I would not give a gyan of that we should always try it. It's just an approach
Yeah.
that gets you by. So let's say if it's easy, we all think that, let's say, Pythagoras theorem is easy, right? I have a degree, I studied engineering maths, and I was teaching Pythagoras theorem to these kids, and they were asking me questions of how does this apply in
Hmm.
reality. And so we have to think about, okay, the second follow back question from that person, okay, how do I apply Pythagoras theorem? I can't apply it in real life because there is gravity and all that. So just a single question from a person who is just studying that, what you may call as easy,
Hmm.
can give you the curiosity. So you have to be really hungry and curious while talking to people. On the other hand, it is equally important to value your own time. If
Hmm.
you feel that I have given this person enough opportunities to drive my intellectual curiosity, and if it's not working out, be respectful and feel like, okay, I enjoyed the conversation that we had. It might not have maybe worked for both of us. We didn't have a serendipitous moment, but it was fun. I'll see you on. And maybe it's possible you might meet a person from 2 years from now. Just because you build a rapport with them, you find something interesting. So don't be so hard and fast. Don't be so seeking of, let's say,
Yeah.
perfection in a conversation. Conversation, you can't plan a conversation. We didn't plan. This is a candid conversation. This is how I
Yeah.
talk. Maybe in the next couple of minutes we talk, there will be just 1 minute of something that is important to you, and that is
Hmm.
enough.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I want to circle back to Pythagoras theorem for a bit, and I want to
Yeah.
ask you this question: that you are the golden boy of Indian academics, right? You've gone to IIT Bombay and IIM, and you've got those big names on your resume. So, how do you apply Pythagoras theorem in your daily life? Can you just explain that to me and to people who listen to this show? How does studying this much has gotten you your ways with applying sine thetas and cos thetas in the real world?
Okay, that's a very tough question. It frames it, but that's a tough question. Just a mild correction. So I would not accredit myself to IIT Bombay. I said it from IIT Kanpur. So
Oh,
IIT
sorry. Yeah.
Kanpur and IIT are my alma maters. But yes, I have learned some maths. I'll tell you the Pythagoras theorem as a fundamental. It means if you have to go through two perpendicular directions, the fastest way is the straight line. If you see Pythagoras theorem as that point, that's fact. Okay, you have to go from point A to point B. The straight line is the fastest way, and then you do something. So suppose you're designing a network, and you want to go from A to B to C to D. So you should immediately know that the fastest way to is from A to D. If A to D is blocked, what's the other? So any algorithm you design in computer science, it's sort of based on it. Direct connection is the fastest. Maybe you want to build something, let's say, build a land area, and be like, okay, I have to minimize the distance between these 2 points. These 2 points should be the closest. So you
Hmm.
would not think about calculating every single distance, every single route to it. The
Yeah.
fastest route is the direct route. That's Pythagoras theorem in its entirety. So it's applied everywhere. I can't just cook up a really perfect, amazing example right now, but so I'll tell you this. So everywhere you measure your phone screen, it's set 6.7 inches screen, 7 inches screen.
Yeah.
What is a 7 inch? It is the diameter.
Oh,
It
okay.
is, it is you see, let's say not diameter, diagonal, sorry. Is it diagonal from one edge to another? Why
Hmm.
don't they give you the length and breadth and then be like, okay, you know how big the size is? Because
Yeah.
typically it is the shortest distance between these 2 points. So by that you can compare phones quickly. It's the diagonal of the phone that's given, 6.7 inches. You measure length and breadth, it's not that case. They just give you 6.7 inches is the screen size and 16 by 9. This is all
Hmm.
Pythagoras theorem. It's just saying 16 by 9 is the case, and it is 6.7 inches. So it's simplifying you, it's helping you visualize a three-dimension body by a point, by a number. And
Yeah.
if you want a two-dimensional metric, so it's all simplification. We use it every single day, we just don't realize it that much. So that's one example of how Pythagoras theorem can work out. I hope I was smart enough so that I could up a really amazing example of something you can play with. But those are some examples.
Put you on the spot with those heavy names, right? IITs and IIMs. Now everyone's judging you for
I,
the
I have
answer.
I have to do justice to it. I I just tell you the best thing that these institutions teach you is fundamental thinking. I
Okay.
boiled down a Pythagoras theorem of h square plus p square, sorry, p square plus b square equal to h square into the shortest between 2 points, distance between
Hmm.
2 points is a direct line. That's a deduction out of it. And then whatever I want, I can play with it. So this fundamental thinking of why we are doing it, what it actually means to a simple person, is what these institutions give me. I can
Is
apply
it
it anywhere.
is it just
Yeah.
that, are these institutions, because I want to understand this from a level which is not a very stock, again, which is not the polished answer that you give at press conferences. So I want to understand it from a point of view that, see, I'll tell you where I'm coming from. So I feel that the nature of education, the nature of how we learn things, the nature of how we are going to progress as a society, or as just a civilization, is that with everything that's been coming up, AI and new tech and all these different job opportunities and everything. So I really want to understand that what will keep these legacy institutions still stay where they are, or will they, or I because I, for the life of myself, can't decide that will they or will they not. And I can challenge this for like the biggest institutions. Of course, I this is my personal opinion, but I feel, do you being a person who's gone through them, and I want to understand this from your point of view, is it just this that they're giving to you, or is it something else?
No, it's one of the things that they give to us. I'll simplify it. So 2 plus 2 is 4. You study from a really worst college in the country, the best college in the country, the best college in the world. It's 2 plus 2 equals to 4.
Yeah.
So the core concepts will stay the same. And even you like, okay, I can self-learn them through a book. So you don't even need a institution to teach you that. So the concepts, they're not teaching you some magical concept. The concept is same. What changes is the environment where you study these concepts. So in an IIT or in an IIM, you are sitting in a classroom where most of your classmates have gone through 2 rigorous years of preparing for an exam while they were in their 16, 17, late teens. They have persevered through the hardship, and they have built a mindset of hard work, of dedication, of discipline. So when such classmates come together, there are some exceptions, but some classmates come together, you have a really competitive pair. So you are competing with the best. So people didn't realize that if I'm sitting in an IIT classroom, all my classmates' friends are also IITians. All of them are rank holders. So they're all smart. It's like really smart people, when they come together, they rub off their intelligence over each other. So why are we
Hmm.
having this conversation? Because you think some of my knowledge can rub off on you, and the same from your end. So we know that we are really intellectually curious. We have some experience that the other person does not have, some way of looking at something that the other person does not have. So we want to learn from one another. That friction or that collision is much higher in a slightly prestigious institute. They don't teach you something else, but you would find people who are really driven, who are really hardworking towards something. And that is why you'll see people from these institutes succeeding in really unplanned fields as well. You would see
Yeah.
IITians who have gone on to become anything but an engineer,
Yeah.
because there is something common in all of them. That something common is that they have built a character through the process of getting into IIT and throughout the IIT that can help them succeed anywhere they step in. And that comes off because you were in an environment where everyone was doing something really amazing. So in my classmates, some of them are among the best software engineers I know. Some became data scientists, some are content creators, whereas some are now getting into athletics and sports. And these are all classmates. They all are excelling in their fields. So you can call it network, you can call it class environment, you can call it being with the best professors. And the professors, the better facilities give you the scope to study more if you are driven.
Hmm.
So all those things make it special. I still believe, and I quote, that uh, IITs don't make you an IITian. The students are IITian themselves. Just because they study together, they make IIT what they are.
Hmm.
The people
That
make
makes
its
sense.
legacy.
Yeah.
So it's a correlation causation problem. IIT is not giving magical tips there. They just invite the best talents, they groom it
Yeah.
in the best possible way, and obviously they get the best results. It's not nothing magical. It's again 2 plus 2 is everywhere 4.
I think I was watching this recent YouTube interview of Dhoni with a couple of folks, and he emphasizes so much on process. And everyone asked him about how are you able to stay calm under situations, and how are you able to navigate people management, how are you able to handle those situations the way you do. So his answer was, and across different situations I've seen him answer, that I only care about my resource management, and I care about what is the process demanding and what can I contribute to that process. So I never care about the result. And it's similar to what you are saying, like the result is obviously a byproduct of what that combination, what that reaction of many smart people in a room provides. That's what makes it a prestigious or a legacy institute. But it's that process, it's those resources, how you're managing them. Like once it's a team, then it's a team. But I think also for an individual, like an individual is also just you're a team of your physical health, emotional health, mental health, and social health. So you are that captain of your all those systems, right? You are that CEO of the personality that you are. So you have to take care of all these aspects, and one of them misfires, then it could all shit could hit the fan. So I think that is a very important kind of insight that I think is very, I don't know, intelligent, or it's just, it makes sense to me. It answers my question to a lot of extents. I
100%.
want to know your opinion on the word you said in your answer, which was character. I want to understand, what does it mean for you, and what do you mean when you say it?
Yeah. So to me, character, if I really simplify it, is having the ability to work on something that is a long term, uncertain goal. Every word is really important. Long term, uncertain, and goal. If you have the ability to do this, to me, you have a character. Your approach might be different. So if it's like everyone who is successful in any field has done this. So you have to think long term. You should not, you have to skip every short term gain thing, and it's for something uncertain. So such as preparing for JE, or maybe preparing, suppose maybe when Virat Kohli was preparing to be what he is right now, he was not sure if he'll get a chance to even play for India. So it was uncertain, but goal. You should know exactly what you want.
Hmm.
So if you have these three things lined up, and if you can work for it, you stand out from most of the people. When you put any of this, when you put long term, nowadays everyone is getting short term rewards. There are apps that reward you in short term, give you dopamine high. There are other intoxication that reward you in short term, experiences that reward you in short term. Or maybe it's really chill to just relax and watch Netflix. It's a short term reward. You need a person to consciously put in himself that I want something long term. Then it should be uncertain. Uncertainty is really, really painful. Humans want certainty. Stock market people want really certainty. Tell me if this stock will work or not. Trust me, no one can tell you. It's uncertain. You just can predict, okay, maybe this will work out because of so and so reasons, because of maybe good debt to equity ratio, or because of good p value, or whatever you have hypothesis. So it's an uncertain situation, and you know exactly what you want. I can bet you, I think among these three things, you can't find even one of them in many people.
Hmm.
If you have these three things, I'm talking about all of them, लोगों के पास एक नहीं होता है.
Hmm.
And these three things are common in people who go through years of struggle and survive. So it's a survival bias. You can easily find IITians who are selling a basic chai on the some street, but that's an exception. That happens. So for an IITian, most of them will have these three because of the process they go through, because of what you mentioned in Dhoni's way, that they go through a process. They realize that I don't know if I'll pass this course or not. I don't know if I'll get into IIT or not. Then if I don't know if I'll pass this course or not. I don't know if I'll get the job or not, even if I try. And I don't know if I should do this or not. IITs have this confusion. Okay, should I get into software engineering? Should I get into IA? Should I get into something else? So there is a lot of time that they go through. Same with other people as well. Every successful people. So you check out the worst college in the country and find the most successful guy. You'll find these character traits. It's just some college people have this environment where they build it easier. It's just it's easier. It's not certain. Anyone can do it. I even call it having a backyard IIT. It got nothing to do with being an IITian. If you can get these three things imbibed in your personality, that whatever you do, you talk about people relationships. Can you get into a relationship where you know you want to do something long term? You want something that might slightly uncertain with a person, but you know exactly that you want it to work.
Hmm.
Again, long term, uncertain, goal oriented. You want to get into, you want to just become a really good swimmer. You know that I don't know swimming, but I'll go to the swimming place every single day, practice. I don't know if I'll become a swimmer or not, uncertainty. But you know clearly that, okay, I want it. I want to be able to complete a lap in so and so time. So that is, if you have those three things, you have my respect, you have what I call as a character. Sorry,
I
that
want
was a
to
long answer to a short question.
no, no, of course. I, this is where the magic happens. But I want to pick your brain more on the two words that you used. You said uncertainty and you said a goal. And you said goal, of course, is synonymous with clarity, according to you. I want to understand, how do you define uncertainty and clarity in a similar sentence, in a single sentence? And how does one even attain them when you're saying, that this is uncertain? I think the result is uncertain, but how can you even achieve clarity?
Okay. So, most people will claim that you have clarity from somewhere or you get inspiration from somewhere. I'll tell you how clarity happens in real life. That's how I got clarity. You get clarity by failing. Imagine you are a blind footballer in a football field. You keep on hitting the ball through all sides. Sometimes you go outside, sometimes you score an own goal. Everyone just tells you this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. With time, you will find that this part of the field is where the goal is.
Hmm.
Some people might hit the first goal and realize this is the goal. This is the place I want to go. So you realize by experimenting, you realize by trying on different things. People
Hmm.
really think, okay, just tell me from the day I am born, what is my goal, what is my passion, or what is something I is my purpose of my life. You really don't.
Hmm.
And this is the beauty of life. Suppose I tell you, suppose I maybe when maybe Dhoni was born, someone told him that all you have to do is play cricket because you will be the best captain. Have lived a day outside it.
Hmm.
Maybe the failures he had while being a TT or while doing something else actually led him to what he became. If all he did was play cricket, might not have gotten us what we want. So
Yeah.
the failures and just deflections you get from your incorrect attempts actually give you the direction and speed. So clarity and goal comes from hit and trial. It's
Hmm.
sad, it involves time, it involves failures, but it is the only way that works. You have to be patient that this will be something. So what's a goal? Goal is I want to, let's say, be the best cricketer. That's a goal. But how will you reach there? He wanted to play cricket. Dhoni wanted to play cricket throughout a really long term once he got
Yeah.
into it. But then we're like, okay, but I also want to earn a living, so I'll go there. I can't play for India. I'll play these other leagues. I haven't scored some in some games. I'll try something else. So you morph. Maybe he wanted to, let's say he was initially betting ahead in the order, but
Hmm.
later on he developed into a finisher.
Yeah.
And the most fantastic shot we think of when we think of Dhoni is the winning six that he hit in 2011. So he became a finisher through all these failures. So you actually discover a goal. You just have an idea of basically what you want to do, but how you reach there and what it actually turns out to be is always uncertain. So 80% you know what you want to do, 20% comes with time and uncertainty, and for the 20% to come through you need long term. So I connect all these things together. 80% you should have some idea. So if you want to be a cricketer, you would not get into dancing.
Hmm.
So you're like, okay, I know somewhere I have to go this side. Suppose you want to go towards the sea, you would go towards the southern side of India.
Yeah.
But will you reach the port of Mumbai or Kerala or Vishakhapatnam? That is uncertain. And for
Hmm.
that, you have to keep on walking so that you reach one shore at least. That is long term. Hence, these three things are required. And that is all. If you can do these three things, you don't need a podcast, you don't need a motivation session, you don't need any career counselor. If you know that this three is what I need, your life is sorted.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I think that's a very well constructed set of sentences, which is very easy to follow and easy to follow. Like, I hope people understand easy to follow while understanding. I don't think they're as easy to follow in day-to-day life. But I think we'll definitely, I think I want to talk more about this aspect of you only. Ayu, I really want to know, where do you come from when you answer these questions about successes and the ingredients for success? I understand them and I think I follow them as well, in terms of I see how they could make a person successful. But this is
Mhm.
something that I also feel that is very less talked about and is not so laid out when it comes to when people are laying out maps for successes or how things will work, but no one actually has a defined path for or they don't talk about a defined path for failure. So I want to really understand, what are the key ingredients for a perfect colossal failure according to you?
Okay, ingredients for a failure. Okay, that's a tough question. First, I'll give you the answer to the first part. Where do I come from? Success. I have gotten really little success in my life. I would not call myself a really achieve accomplished person, but I have gotten something that was a big inflection point in my life.
Hmm.
So from where I come from the little town I come from the humble backgrounds I come from, getting into IIT, then getting into good companies, getting into a good salary, then leading the teams while you're really young. So I was beating the average by a long shot. So I have gotten some success in my younger years, and that has given me just one thing. I got the ingredient for it.
Hmm.
It's like I ran a really small shop that did a 2 crore per annum business, but I got to know that to make profit, you need selling price more than cost price.
Hmm.
And it is true for the biggest billionaire companies. Anything it works.
Yeah.
So this thing is same for a kirana shop than to a really big corporate. Just the cost price gets more complicated, selling price gets more complicated, but still the same. And that is how I discovered, okay, this something has been working for me, these small successes. So I have basically maybe ran sort of a bunch of kirana shops, maybe a kirana shop, a food outlet, or maybe a clothing outlet. So that those have been like 3 or 4 successes I have gotten in my life. And I learned in all of them, one thing was common, which is the formula I gave you. It should be
Hmm.
long term, uncertain, and goal. If you have this character, you would be successful in whatever you do. That has been learning from all the successes I have gotten, however minuscule they are to the greater scheme of thing in the world. That's first answer. Second, you talk about what makes a really great failure. So if you want to fail successfully, I would say you need 4 things, 4 F to F the failure. One is you have to feel the failure. I really am a big advocate of feeling your success and failure to the full most. If your failure, if it does not hurt you, if you don't shed a tear or two, it wasn't a good enough failure. You have to feel some sorrow. You have to be kind to yourself. Okay, I can scream, I can shout, I can maybe take a day or two off because I genuinely worked hard for it. So feel the failure is the first thing. If you don't feel the failure, you won't be able to do the next steps I'm going to tell you. You feel the failure. Second, you face the failure. So you just realize, okay, now I have done crying. My eyes have gotten drier now. Now, after let's say having a glass of water, now I can see, okay, what went wrong. Just critically see what went wrong, and just basically see what I could have done different and what would have happened if I do. So that's face the failure. Then it is just like after you face the failure, you have to analyze the failure itself. So that's like once you're done facing it, you can then analyze, okay, what went wrong, how could I have done it different, and how other people have done it. So facing
Yeah.
and analyzing happens on the go. And finally, the most important one is to forget the failure. So today Virat got his 49th century, and I guess he has gotten 120, 130 runs, done 120 instances where he have gotten 50 plus runs, 50 or 100. But that guy has played, I guess, 200 something innings, 200, 300 innings. So in half of the innings, he didn't get a 50. In maybe a good number of them, he got a 0. He got a 0 the other day. 9 balls played, 0 runs. So if he was thinking that, okay, I got a 0 on 9 balls while he was playing today, he would not be able to put his bat on the ball. So if you, let's say, if you are a founder, you went for a sales pitch, you tried to pitch a startup to someone, they really mocked you. It happens a lot. But if you are going with that mockery line in your head when you're pitching to the next investor, it would not work. After you're done with it, okay, what did I do wrong? After you're done facing it, you should forget it as well. So feel it, cry all you want, face it, and then finally forget it. If you do these 3 things, you are done with the failure. So that's how you fail successfully. You can fail at any level. The feeling phase is longer when you fail bad, but everything, do these 3 things. This is on, I don't know, I haven't read this in any book. This is what has worked for me, be it career, be it academics, be it relationships, be it anything, be it finances. I just realized, okay, I failed. Yes, I failed. I am sad about it. I faced it. What did I do wrong? How do other people do it differently? And then after I'm done with it, I forget. I am best again. So it's like when you walk in the field, when you go to the next instance, you are the best.
I think this is so similar to a similar conversation that I've had on the show with Chetna Vashisht. I don't know if you're aware of her. She has a channel called Chet Chat on YouTube.
Yep,
And
I know her. I know her. She's very prominent.
yeah, so she's super funny, and she's just so full of wisdom. And she told me this only, that uh don't personalize your successes or failures at any point in your life. And this is similar to what you are saying, like the part where you forget about it, that it's you have to look at them objectively. They are outcomes of effort and situations presented to you. And if you get too personalized, if you get too much into the emotion that comes along with them, then that ultimately gets you stuck. You're not able to get that another movement going in. And this is similar for failures and successes likewise. And this is of course very similar to the thing that you were talking about. So that made me remember the conversation that I had with her. But now I want to kind of pivot this conversation from the insight. And I actually think that you have really profound insights for someone who's actually who's not that old yet, because I've talked to people on the show who have been 50, 60, 70, and
You have experience more than my age.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that is certainly true. And I want to ask you this now from some more practical on ground questions. Like people who don't have access to let's say opportunities where they could directly get to talk to you, and they might benefit from some answers that you could give to these questions. Okay.
Yep.
So let's imagine I am a tier 2, tier 3 city student in 12th class studying in school, and I'm not sure what I want to do in life. I just know that I want to get rich. Okay. And I don't want
Yep.
to get rich by an illegal way or anything illegitimate, but I want to really make a good living out of my life. I want to benefit my family, my society around me. But ultimately, I want enough money for to feed myself, my family, and enough to spend on whatever I want.
Yep.
What do I do to, on practical terms, like I know now philosophically what I need to do, but on practical terms, what should be my immediate next step? Is it studying for the best college that I can get? Is it going out in the field and trying to sell something? Is it just getting a job wherever I can find?
Okay, so first step you should do is pat your back. So you have gotten more figured out than most people around you. So you have got figured out that you want to be rich. Some people start even more vague, that I want to make my parents happy.
Hmm.
You start like, okay, I want to feel good. I want to be
Hmm.
happy. So that's far more vague than the person who has got into the money aspect.
Yeah.
I would say among the three things, long term, uncertain, and goal, you have gotten started to work with on the goal itself. So that's where everything starts. So you've gotten, I want to be rich. And you've also gotten clarity that you don't want to do something illegal. That's
Yeah.
again a step ahead. Because if you start from a building block, okay, I want to be rich, then you go further and understanding how do you become rich. So when you think about that, you start just it's like spending time with your own self and asking yourself simple questions. It is again fundamental thinking. This you develop. If you are able to develop it, you'll do good. You don't have to care about how you'll reach there. So then you think about, okay, how do I get rich? Okay, I make money. How do you want to make money? A job or a business? Okay, you pick a job. Okay, how do you get a job? To get a job, you must have the qualification that the employer needs. Okay, what sort of qualifications do I want to make? So it's again, I am sort of linking it to the ikigai concept. It's slightly more complicated, but it really works. You have to know that, okay, I want to be somewhere who is going to give what I need back to me. Suppose I want to make money, I need someone else to give me his money. Why would he give me his money? I have to give him something back.
Hmm.
What can I give back?
Yeah.
What is something that I can either have today or I can build on my own that I can give back for money?
Hmm.
If I don't have it right now, which is most of the case with 12th class students, what is something that is really precious? So it's like, okay, I have to get money and I have to just do something. Okay. So it was my case. I like to build things. I just knew I like to build things and I would really be happy if someone pays me for it.
Hmm.
And I don't like to build things that are hands-on. But that's a completely hands-on. I can't be an artisan, or I can't be a really craft person, or really just I can't visualize in 3D. Okay, so I need to build something that is slightly more software based or slightly more not visuals. Okay, what is that? Maybe graphic designing is there. Okay, maybe graphic design. I got to know when, like 2-3 years ago, something like that exists. But okay, I can do graphic design and I can make content. Making content is like building content. So when you go in this tree like thinking, okay, I have to make money, ways to make money, ways to do this, you just have a logical tree automatically forming in your brain, and you then have sort of 4 or 5 ideas, and you are generally not mature enough to pick between 4 or 5, but at least you know 4 or 5.
Hmm.
That is much ahead than everyone at your age. I even gave my last TEDx. I ensure that everyone goes back with one point. You don't have to get everything figured out. It is okay to be confused. Every single person you see today that you might feel is your ideal or the best person, most successful person, was confused.
Yeah.
So if you have 4 or 5 ideas, okay, I want to go in this direction, that can take you places. So the question started with, okay, should I do business? Should I do job? The answer is ask yourself, what can you do? And what can actually, how can you do that? So if you want to do a business happens in different ways. Do you want to start a simple store? Do you want something online or whatever? Slowly try it out and see what are the possibilities. A person's job is to maximize possibilities. If you can maximize possibilities, you can get success. It's like you are a bowler. You can throw 6 balls in an over. You can throw 6 of them in 6 different ways, so that you hope the batsman gets confused on one of them and you get a wicket. That's all you have to do. You can be like, okay, I'm a single ball bowler. You can't be a single ball bowler. You must have to know, okay, I have these things and one of them will work out, because these are the things that I do best. So again, we have been talking about cricket all around. So I'll give you an example of cricket. So maybe Jasprit Bumrah is bowling. He might know 6 different variations in a paced bowling attack, but he can't come and bowl a googly.
Yeah.
No, he knows the spectrum. He has a wide enough spectrum, but his spectrum is not infinite. He just knows I have 6 or 7, whatever kind of number of deliveries. I'll mix and match, I'll play with them, I'll optimize them and then see. And when you are young, you have some restrictions from your capabilities and your environment. I would not be like, okay, really a motivational speaker or really a really inspirational, and just be like, okay, leave everything, quit your job, fight with your parents, and then get what you want. That's not the case. You have some constraints, and then you figure out how it will go, how it will take you to the place you want to go. So again, every successful person, people just nowadays really want to be like, okay, just give me a successful mantra, give me really easy and but that does not happen. So that's how you actually do it. You have to think, you have to sit. If you can develop an ability to introspect and talk to yourself and ask yourself tough questions, and be ready to do something that you don't like for a short term for something you like in a long term, you are sorted.
I think
It's
one of the
just
things,
Sorry,
one
continue.
of the things that aligns me with this line of thought is something that I personally realized this year was I always wanted to I always thought about making money as a as a way to a means in terms of uh selling something to someone or just getting something in return, like the way you mentioned, trade. But I
Yeah.
viewed as money as the most important artifact in this whole process. And I don't know which book was it, or maybe some conversation, but during the course of this year at some point I realized that it's a futile measure, maybe for people in their different journeys of life. But for me, I realized that it's not money that I want to ever chase, or it's not money that I ever want to make. I want to create value. And because it's always a trade of value, I have some value that I can give to you, and you have money as a means of exchanging that value. So money is deemed valuable by society, and it has been for a long enough time, and that's economics, and that's how we operate, and that makes our lives very easy. I have a 500 rupee note that allows me to get value worth of 500 rupees, but it's essentially value trade that goes on. And it's my then understanding of just getting rich shifted from someone who wants money in their bank to someone who, if they had the choice, would go for just having value. And then your trade of economics can shift from money, gold, bitcoin, whatever works for you. But
Yep.
it's just that, and it's so similar to the thing that you're talking about. And I feel if you can simplify this concept maybe more for people, because sometimes I think it runs into a roadblock, like people don't understand what value exactly means. But I feel you could, so because you've studied
And
this,
turns
and
out
because you have
I have the perfect example for this. I have the
yeah.
perfect example for this. So suppose you own a car. You can use a car to go for a trip. You can own a car to just go for a drive and enjoy with your family. You can own a car from just travel to your hometown. So car has different uses. Car runs on petrol. Petrol is not the means to the end. It's not the end. You don't want your car to have petrol all the time. Petrol just helps you go from A to B. Going
Yeah.
from A to B is what you want to do. So money is the petrol. It helps you do what you want to do. It is not what you want to do. It just helps you do what you want to do. Something simple as you want to have food. To have a food, you have to have money. You don't eat money. So money is not the value. Food and satisfaction of hunger is the value.
Yeah.
The more you have, the more satisfaction to an extent you can get. So it's the means to an end. It's like uh, people use money for donations. Why would someone donate if money is all? They
Yeah.
sort of exchange money for satisfaction, for peace, or for, I don't know, just feeling more grateful and all that things. So they exchange money for a value, no matter immaterialistic, that they get. So the value is what you actually have, what you actually want. And that is the answer you get when you ask yourself, why do I need money? And how much money do I need? And in what form do I need money? Nowadays, we don't even see money. It's all internet. It's all
Yeah. It's
wired.
numbers.
So we don't even see money. It just gets us something. So something simple as, okay, I do a job. I give some value to someone. Next time they give me this much value. And I use some of that value to buy food, some of that value to travel, some of the value to get something else. So that's a transfer of value, and transfer of, basically, if you use economics terms, utility. So don't ever think of money as the end. You should not be like, okay, I want to have a lot of petrol. I want my car's tank to be full. And what will you do with that? What will you do with that?
Yeah.
So my favorite professor from IIM asked this question that, okay, if I give all of you $1 billion, what will you do? Some people said, okay, I'll have this food, I'll travel this way. Okay, you spend 50 million. What will you do with the rest 950? Then they were like, okay, no, I'll give this to this person. Okay, you spend another 500 million. Now you have 500 million in your bank. What will you do? Then they started changing their answers. Then they were like, okay, I'll start a business. I'll start a donation. I'll start a fundraiser, or I'll start I don't know, I'll start a company, or I'll buy a football team. Why are you doing that? Because that's actually what you wanted to do. You wanted to do that business. You wanted to try out building that product or whatever it is, or you wanted to benefit the society, or you wanted to just be closer to the football game, hence you own the football team.
Yeah.
That's why you use money. So money is the means that get you something that you actually value. And once you know what you actually value, then you can put an MRP to it. I want to have this particular Rolex watch. Okay, you really want it. What's the value? Now you know the price. If you just like, okay, I want to have 1,000 crores in my bank account. Why do you need 1,000 crores? You might just be happy with 10 crores.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think
that's
no, I think this is so true. And I've been reading this book called 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. And he talks about this concept of people not ever, and this is similar to, again, what we were talking about previously, like, identifying a goal that you want. So he talks about like how convenient it is, like how most people just never ideally tell what they want to do, or ideally not even decide for themselves like what is a goal for them, because once you don't decide what is a goal for you, then essentially you can never fail. Because if you don't know where you want to go, then you're never lost, because you can
exactly
never say that I never missed a target, because essentially there's no target. Like, that is something that we psychologically unconsciously are doing when we don't define a goal.
exactly. And even defining a goal, even adding to that. So again, if you don't define, there is no failure. That's one advantage. Second advantage is goal setting is painful. It's really painful, and people don't like pain.
Yeah.
Deciding, having this conversation with your own self, with your loved ones, constantly asking, what do I want, what do I, it really hurts, it genuinely. So there is a lot of mental pain that you have to go through. Just decision making is painful. It has been proven through studies. It's just deciding. So if you just give someone, okay, we only sell burgers, it's far easier. Like, okay, we sell burgers and pizza, and
Yeah.
people will find it painful to choose between them. Just because you give them more options, they have more pain. So decisions and goal setting is painful process. the pain actually stops people from doing that.
And I think
So
smart.
then they give vague goals, because vague goal is easy. Then
Yeah.
so it's easy to define an umbrella that, okay, I want to live. That's it. I want to live in this place, that place. The more you define, the more painful it is. The more you have to reject, the more you have to say no to. And all those no's, all those decisions are painful, time taking, and require a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Reaching a goal is a different thing. Finalizing a goal is also effort taking. I am not scaring anyone in your audience, but if you do it, that is the first step. You should know where to aim. That's like, okay, if you know the direction, you are almost halfway there.
So
So
that's the.
nowadays,
Yeah.
I'll just add one thing. I really feel strongly about it, so I have to add. Nowadays, people are. It's so easy to be in the top 1% or top 5% nowadays, because people are really confused. They have short-term rewards, and they don't like uncertainty. Hence,
Hmm.
I don't have all three of them as I started in the conversation. So if you get one of them, you're better than most people. And it is so painful, because everyone is getting so much other relaxation from other sources that no one wants to put in effort for it. So if you it's far easier, if I can conclude this, it's far easier to be successful in the modern world than it was ever before. It's far easier.
Yeah, that makes me wonder. I actually think about this, and naturally a question comes to my mind that if this is so easy, then why don't people realize this?
So it so previously, suppose I'll just give you a real example that everyone can just imagine. There was a time when you really wanted to study something. There were generations who didn't have books to study.
Hmm.
Then there were generations who didn't have coaching or education institutes in their city to study. Then there was a generation who didn't have money to study.
Hmm.
Now the today's generation is, they don't have the desires to study. They have, they can study on YouTube. Everything is getting everything is coming to you. It's like the spoon is coming closer to your mouth. Previously you didn't have food. Now the spoon is just next to your mouth. You just have to take it. That's how easy it has gotten. But just because it has gotten so easy, it's not just one spoon. You have so many spoons lined around your mouth that you're
Hmm.
confused. You're not eating any of it.
Problem of choice.
Yes, the problem of choice is there. And so if I even add to that metaphor, you're not that hungry either.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you see India. India is a far richer country than it was. The average person in India is sort of doing better than it was. Everyone's getting like something. So if you look at Maslow's hierarchy pyramid, you'll see that the bottom line is the food, the requirement of shelter, almost all of them is sort of surely getting taken care of. It's like your stomach is mostly full. You would be fine if you don't succeed. That is the relaxation. And you
Hmm.
can succeed in so many ways, is the confusion. So relaxation bundled with confusion makes it harder for more people to not succeed. If you have so like nowadays, I guess you have to excuse the audio coming from behind.
Yeah.
So nowadays, if you look at people, they are fine if they are not excelling.
Hmm.
So you have to be like, okay, no, you have to have a desire in yourself. Okay, I have to still get it. It's like I want to do more than what I have. You must have some greed, some ambitiousness inside you, despite having a filled stomach. It's like you have dal chawal with you every single day for the rest of your life. You have to be slightly crazy to want that. I don't want dal chawal. I need nutritious every single day. I need to eat in a 5 star with a good ambience. I need to, I don't know, have this dal chawal in a helicopter. So you're slightly crazy to do something more. Previously,
Yeah.
people didn't have dal chawal at all.
Yeah.
And okay, I if I don't do something, I'll be hungry. I'll starve to death. That's not the case.
Hmm.
And nowadays, you can move from dal chawal to butter chicken to also chow mein. You have so many options. So just because you have options, you can't choose what to move to.
Hmm.
And this is why I'm saying eating is not the difficult part. Choosing and building ambition is a difficult part. Having a desire in yourself to do it. You see, people have not of desire because they were hungry. The hunger is missing. The hunger and goal setting is missing. And if you do that, hence I say it's far easier to be successful nowadays in terms of things you have to do. It's more of a mental game than a resource game. You have to, and to some people, it will feel the mental prison is far stronger than the physical prison. Previously, people only had the physical prison there, so some people broke through. Nowadays, the mental prison of confusion and lot of having a lot of satisfaction is blocking people up.
Man, this just blows away my mind. Like, you're so fully packed of stuff that that actually hits, that actually makes a lot of sense to me. um I think the part that I like the most about this conversation is the fact that, it's easy to digest, and at the same time it also allows you to uncover different topics. So, I'm super grateful that you were on the show and we got to talk so much more about, many different things. Do you have any last bit of anecdotal, because I loved always these IIT IIM professors, thought experiments. So if you have any or anything else that you want to share before we conclude this episode, that would be great.
IIT IIM, I don't know why, if I can just summarize IIT IIM in a short span, but they have really changed my life.
Hmm.
I got to meet people, I got to experience things that were far beyond my scope. They became my inflection point. Hence I got to be what I am. So they became my means to an end. My goal was fine. Okay, I have to build something, and I really want to do something bigger in life. Hence I do these TEDx speeches and do these podcasts and write on every platform that I could find, because I
Yeah.
just want to help other people and really want to add value. As you said, the value exchange actually gets you what you actually value, what you actually want. So if anyone is listening to a podcast, I know nowadays listening to a podcast or listening to any other thing for anything more than 30 seconds is really hard. If any
Try
listener has
three.
got, yeah,
Try 3 seconds.
yeah. So the span is not much. So if someone has gotten till here, they have gotten the first element right, which is to work for something that's long term. And if you can do this, if you have the perseverance, if you can just build the character, as we talked about throughout the podcast, no matter your stream, no matter where you come from, no matter where you have studied from, you would get what you want. Even if I meet anyone today who is from a different college, a different stream, I have a lot of respect for them. I don't feel like, okay, I am on a pedestal or something. That's where we started as why I listen to
Yeah.
people. So I am chill with it. I just want to have conversation. I just want to be like, okay, can you teach me something? Can you actually help me become better so that I can do something more? And this has been the flow of my life. I really wish whatever I shared through my limited experience can help people. I would never say that I have done a lot. I have just done few things a lot of times.
Hmm.
I have just done them a lot of times and I've analyzed them even more.
Yeah.
So I think deeply, I spend time myself, I analyze things and I try out as much as I can. Hence, in a lesser time span, I can give you the insights that I gave you. But the secret to any success, hence these all these successful talks align.
Yeah.
Because it is simple. You ask anyone, they just rephrase the same thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same. It's like you'll find it in holy books, you'll find it in any podcast, you'll find it in any motivational speaker, because it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You just have to find one, choose one place. Maybe this podcast is all you have to listen to, and you'll be through. You just have to now get on to the harder part of working on something and harder part of goal setting.
Yeah.
So That's about it. And I would just say, I would have just observed this trend. People should really stop seeking motivation.
Hmm.
There should be no reason for you to find motivation. Motivation is just like a boost you can have at times. Okay, really low, you need a 5-minute boost. That's all it is. If you're like, okay, I have seen this podcast, I'm just talking to the audience right now. If you've seen this podcast, okay, I want to find the next podcast so I can get new ideas about how to be successful. It's just one idea. Choose one and start working on it. You don't need much motivation. If you really are driven, one is enough. One is enough. Start working. And I hope the audience finds value. I am really grateful for you to having me. And I had a great time. I love talking to you.
Likewise, man, it was great talking to you. I think we'll have you on the show again for some time once you've had more insights for us to all learn from. Thank you so much, Ayu, for doing this. I'm super grateful for you being on the show. Thank you.